Buzz. I'm your host, Clara Mutoni, and I'm here today with you to talk to you about Manchester United and everything Manchester United. Now, United is scrambling back to the market transfer because they lost on Matheus Fernandes, and 3 of Manchester United players are out of the World Cup, and meanwhile the rest are still like dreaming on. They have qualified. So we are going to talk about that, and we have a special surprise for you. It's a special segment for you at the end of this show. And before I dive into it, please subscribe. I know I always ask you this, but there is no way I cannot ask you that. It's the simplest way to support the channel and also be part of the family. Without further ado, let's dive right into today's show. Now, we have multiple players, Manchester United players in the World Cup, all right? We have ranging from our captain, Bruno Fernandes, we have Matheus Cunha, we have Kobe Mainoo, we have Rashford, who is technically not our player, but he is still our player because they haven't decided his future yet. And last night was actually a movie. Last night, it was a knockout stage in the World Cup, and Portugal was playing against Croatia. If you didn't watch this game, I'm telling you, you missed out. Anyways, bottom line is, it was an intense game. Croatia dominated the first minutes, a few minutes, and then Portugal took over, but they couldn't see at the back of the net. And Cristiano Ronaldo scored a very, very good goal, but then it was ruled offside. It was actually a movie. Unless you saw it, you can't really understand where I'm coming from. Now we have players like Amad Diallo from Ivory Coast. He scored, regardless, the Ivory Coast team was eliminated, and by Norway. And then we have Emmanuel Ugarte from Uruguay. Obviously, they were eliminated, but also he got injured. He sustained an injury, and during this tournament, that's when he sustained an injury, but also he's out. And then we have Mazraoui from Morocco. Morocco reached the round of 16 years. They went in the knockout, but Mazraoui's World Cup ended in the round of 32 World Cup after Atlas Lions defeated the Netherlands and advanced. All right, those are the players. We have 3 players who are out of the World Cup, and we still have a roster. We have a roster of players to look forward to in the World Cup. We have Bruno Fernandes, obviously, for Portugal. We have Diogo Dalot for Portugal, even though they don't really, give him a lot of chances. We have Kobe Mainoo from England. We have Matheus Cunha, Brazil, obviously. Marcus Rashford, who is technically not in our squad, but he is in our squad because he is in Manchester. And we have Martinez Licha from Argentina. And Argentina's round of 32, actually, they're playing today. So we cannot rule him out because possibilities are Argentina is going to advance to the next round. All right. And we have Arte Baide. He was eliminated earlier with Turkey, if counting all the tournament participating, because, all those clubs, all those teams, and national teams, they have our elements, and these are elements to look out for. And last night, before I dive into the transfer news, because I always want to give you an update on the World Cup, I saw some rude comments online. They were talking about, well, was that really, did the Croatian player touch the ball on the second goal, the second disallowed goal in the last additional minutes? Because it was supposed to be 10 minutes of additional time, but it stretched until the 19th minute. That's where I couldn't believe the referee wanted chaos. All right. And I saw comments. Obviously, Cristiano was subbed early on before the game ended, and people were like, how can you sub a striker? You just came back from behind and scored a goal, because Portugal, mind you, was behind. They were 1 down. Croatia scored 1 goal, and then when Cristiano scored, now we see Roberto Martinez, the head coach, removing him, he subbed him, and he couldn't believe it. First of all, this could be his last game for the country. He's done a lot for the country. Well, they haven't gotten a World Cup yet, but he's done tremendously for the flag, for the nation. And you're subbing him, you know you might get into extra time, and you're bringing in a holding midfielder. But again, it all worked out for him in the end, so it wasn't any, precautions, because it would have been worse if he subbed the attackers and brought in midfielders to just, because they were like 1-1. What do you mean? You want to go to the extra time? Anyways, and I saw some comments. Obviously, Messi fans are always, you stay late to watch the GOAT. Let's let's call a spade. You stay all night to watch Cristiano and then go ahead and bash him. That guy is pushing for something. He is still top of his game. He is scoring. Like, if they didn't disallow that goal, honestly, that was supposed to be like one of the most top World Cup goals ever to be, because that was a smooth one. It was like he didn't think about it. He was on form. But obviously, Messi haters are going to hate. Haters are going to hate. But one thing I've seen, there are two things that really stood out to me. It was his moments with Luka Modric. These two played in the same club in Real Madrid. But now, Luka Modric, that was his last dance, as they like to call it. That was his last dance. And you could see, like, this guy was playing as if he's still 20. But obviously, you could see the sadness on his face. It's like, this is the last time. Obviously, we had two legends on the pitch. One had to go because it's a knockout season. I mean, it's a knockout stage. And you could see really how it affected him. He wanted to hold it, like, he kept holding it in. And also, Jota, Liverpool lost Diogo Jota last year. And yesterday was, actually, it happened this morning. The game happened where I am from, where I'm seated. It happened in the early mornings of today. And that marked a year since Diogo Jota was, like, they lost him, he passed away. And you could see, like, Cristiano, obviously, every single time he's going to, after the game, he wears Diogo Jota's shirt, jersey, and they pose for a picture. And after that, he said, this is for, like, Cristiano Ronaldo said, yes, it is for me and as a team, but also it's for Jota because he would have enjoyed this World Cup. It was very beautiful to see. And also as a fan, as a supporter of, the GOAT, I was like through the roof, because that game brought every emotions out of me. Every single one. Like, the ball wasn't even staying in the midfield for even seconds. It was like, it was very, like, among all the games I've watched in this World Cup, that was the game that really stood out to me, because it was a do or die, right? And our guys, our men, well, what can I say? Anyways, let's dive into the transfers. Obviously, Matheus Hernandez, Manchester is like, okay, that's too much. That's too much money you're asking. But then they missed out on our possible signing for this season, all right? Now, they have open talks with another West Ham player called Somerville. And this is, he plays for that, for Dennis, for Denmark. And let me tell you one thing. As a supporter who wants to hear only news of any possible signing, we need midfielders. We do not need left wingers. We do not need right wingers. Yes, we have lefties. We also need a right winger, but he's not a priority, really. He is not a priority. And now Manchester United is struggling, like they're stumbling through every possible player that is out there. Everyone who is on the market seems too expensive for them. And now the substitutes, they're talking to you, and they're announcing, you hear all these advanced tokens, you're like, is that what we need? Is, like, some of you what we need? And it is being said that United have intensified their interest in this winger, with the clubs now in direct contact over a potential summer transfer. And discussions remain at an early stage. Obviously, he's still new. And he's standing at 50 million quids, okay? I mean 50 million euros. And United have, now talked to him. They want to talk to him. They want to bring him on. But then I'm like, really? Like, is that what you can come up with? Anyways, talking about transfers, let's talk about Gilbert Mora. His stock continues to soar after his outstanding performances for Mexico at the FIFA World Cup, obviously this year, 2026. And he has emerged. He's a midfielder, yes, but can you really say Gilberto Mora is a substitute of Mateus Fernandez? Well, we'll leave that to whoever decides, to decision makers, because we don't decide. Okay, and he's been attracting interest from several Premier League clubs, but while the race for his signature is intensifying, one English powerhouse, which is Manchester United, they have already decided to step aside. Okay, you have advanced the talks, and then they tell you he's worth this amount of money, and then you're like, you know what? Nah. You can stay with your guy. And now my question is, we are going to begin a preseason stage, all right? We have players, as I just told you in the beginning of this show, we have players, our players who are still participating in the World Cup. Now we are going to do a preseason without our senior midfielders. Would you, as a club that came from 16th place to emerge at third and then qualify for Champions League, and then you have collapse in the national teams, and now you have a new manager, and you haven't signed anyone, and you're going to start a preseason with who? With which midfielder? Who? We're going to start this preseason without any midfielder. Let's just say Bruno is still like in the World Cup. Let's say Portugal advances to another round. Now they'll have to wait until the World Cup is done, and then the guy has to rest maybe, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days, and then he will join. And then, like, what do you mean you are not signing any players? Like, the frustration is too much. And my question again is, does United really need a winger, like a right-footed winger right now? Is that our priority? And even if you bring him, let's just say they bring Somerville, is he going to be like Ashley Young would? Because, like when we brought in Ashley Young, he was like top of his game. So are you going to say, I missed on this transfer because he was a bit expensive, and I got to go with whoever is not expensive, but he's like this good? Can you convince people that this is going to be? Anyway, let me just talk about something even positive. As I told you, I had a special segment for you before I end today's show, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's last Sunday, we're on Friday, yeah? Last Thursday, actually was like a day before, because everything happens like early hours, so I don't know where you're watching from, I don't know like the time zone, but where I'm watching from, where I am right now, talking to you from, everything happens like during like morning hours, our morning, so it's AM. I saw a post from The Sun. They talked to Cristiano Ronaldo's sister, and she said, I know my brother told me this is going to be his last dance, meaning he's going to play his last World Cup game, okay? And that's not a shock. It is not a shock. But as a United supporter, as a Cristiano Ronaldo supporter, let me tell you his accomplishments in the World Cup. Not in clubs, because if we are going to talk about club accomplishment, we would sit here all day, all long. And people like comparing him with Messi, which makes the game very interesting and exciting. But let me tell you, me supporting Cristiano does not dismiss Messi's